All right, welcome everyone. We're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we're here for Shogun, episode 10.
The finale.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go.
Yep.
And,
Toranaga.
yeah.
What are you going to play off of this with?
Because, people died. Yeah. One person in particular.
One very important person, yeah.
And, we left off the episode with that, so, it's still not a great situation right now.
No, I have to assume we time skip a little bit ahead with them being, prisoners and stuff. So
presented before Ishido or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But wow.
Yep.
We didn't really get anything from Toranaga last episode, so this better be Toranaga's whole episode here. I want this to be a long one. It looks pretty long.
Yeah.
But I
and
want
action can pack into small amounts of time too.
Right. I just want time for those meaty conversations and things like that. So,
yes, me too.
All right, y'all. Without further ado, let's get into this.
Oh. What?
Look at it. Look sharp. Be quiet. I hear you. I'm only going to look. Mother's gonna get angry if she knows we're in here. Be careful.
How far in the future are we?
Yeah.
Because grandfather used it to fight off a whole army of Japanese assassins.
Oh my god.
Whoa. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Blackthorn. Whoa.
Was it really given to you by a savage?
Oh! Oh geez, still in peace.
Yeah,
still in one piece.
Yeah, she's dead.
Heavenly Father,
Oh!
commit to you your loyal servant, Mariko-sama. Mariko-sama.
Oh geez, someone else is dead too. Oh. Oh. Oh damn. He's feeling it.
Holy shit.
Okay, no time
Okay.
skip. We
Yeah.
are in the thick of it.
Yep.
城が我らが思うておったほど安全でないことは明々白々でござりますな。
マリコ殿は何の妨げもなく城を出ることを許されるべきであった。
今さら何を言ってもせんだきこと。兄からの
Whoa.
Okay.
下界のない家臣の非業の最後に色を失い、兄は秘密裏に江戸を抜け出し、戦の支度をしておる。
Yep. It's official now.
戦の支度なぞ何の意味もないわ。大坂か戦の場か、虎長がどこで降伏するかそれだけじゃ。肝心なのは
Are we?
Yeah.
Are
That's
we?
what you think?
恥ずべき襲撃を命じた咎人がこの大老衆の一人やもしれぬと思うと。
Nice. The fact that he's also saying it.
Yeah.
せよなぞと。キャツのこけ脅しに終止符を打つことこそ我らの務め。わしは出陣すべきと申しておるのじゃ。
Oh, do you now?
その前にまずマリコ殿のキリシタンとしての葬儀を執り行わねばなりませぬ。
マリコ殿の死は気の毒じゃが、あの者が明智家の身内じゃということを忘れてはなるまい。落葉様の父君を殺めた一族ぞ。
マリコ殿は
Yeah, your turn to speak. Yeah.
弔っていただかねば。
承知つかまつった。しからばその後戦といたしましょうぞ。
お世継ぎにも加わっていただきとうござりまする。
無論じゃ。お世継ぎの御旗のもと。
His banners make our side lawful.
If you have to say that.
Yeah. I love that he just says it.
Yeah.
いかがいたしまするか。
こたびの戦議で戦と決まらば、その後金物に何が起ころうと。
Yeah, do what you will. Yeah.
出陣。やむなし。
やむなし。
Oh shit. An earthquake. Right after he said war is inevitable? That is.
もう少し戦議を重ねよう。
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
将でもあるまいし。南に縁起を担いでます。
Even though Chibo looks like,
日の本の庇護者ぞ。氷結は愛と整ったのじゃ。
Yabushige, yeah, get that tilt in the yeah, you're spinning out, aren't you?
息災のようで何より。やぶしげだな。
Do I?
ようなったか。
耳でございまするか。ああ。おお。かさじけがござる。
No, it's still.
拙者はマリコ殿は捕らえられるだけじゃと思っておりました。
逆らうたりするゆえ命を落としたのじゃ。あれでは救いようがないわ。藪重殿のご尽力は後世に語り継
No, I'll never forget.
が死んだ後、その方の大老の座は安泰よ。
Wow.
奇妙なものでござる。
he's not even like looking at him.
虎長公に戦を仕掛ける寸前まで行かれた。
Uh-huh.
表はすべて天下に賛同。だがそこで地震が起きたのじゃ。琵琶湖を震源地とする大きな地震でござった。
No way.
味方はそれを不吉な前兆とみなした。天下は和平の道を探るほかなくなったのでござる。
And it just happened again here.
お前を空に戻してやろう。娘をあのためよ。
Whoa, those eyes.
Was it really given to you by a savage? We live. And we
Yeah, and still holding on to her necklace after all this time. Just. Are his eardrums too blown out?
I think so.
寝ておられましたの。マリコ様は
He missed the funeral.
Oh, Mariko was his ears.
Sure.
In a fun
yeah.
way.
Yeah.
The
His
shell
connection
shock
to this
nature of
world.
it, the idea for him to perceive and understand this world is now gone.
Well, get it over with then.
You have been permitted to return to Toranaga-sama's galley. Here is your pass.
Why am I receiving this permission from Lord Kiyama? Where is Yabushige-sama?
He is preparing the galley in Osaka Bay. I have come to bring you to him.
Whoa.
Okay.
She can't have heard me. Before she died. I spoke before. God, not your God. Or my God. Just God. Do you think it was acceptable?
Rest assured she was already sanctified. Before her death, she came to me and received absolution. I think it would have pleased her to see us being civil. Perhaps there might come a time we can set aside our differences.
Yes. All this nonsense. Catholic and Protestant and Calvinist and every other shittist. Is this where I'm to be? Ambushed? Like the last time I tried to leave? No longer protected? Is that how I finally meet my end?
I will not deny it. You were meant to die in these woods.
Yeah.
But an arrangement was made. You will leave Osaka alive.
Whoa.
You'll have to forgive me if I'm having some
Doubts.
trouble accepting anything on your word.
On this, you will just have to trust me.
Whoa.
Okay.
What did the church cook up then?
I mean, if he was given to them, and Kiyama, like,
Go with God, Anjin-sama. It was Lady Maria.
Uh-huh.
oh,
Uh-huh. Yeah. Oh.
She asked the church to spare your life before she died. And now I have. I have kept my word to her. Goodbye. And good luck.
Whoa.
shit.
I was not ready for
Okay.
that. Emotionally. Ugh. Man is fighting back the river right now. Yep.
ことさ、カレーかなとは、
私の友人が読んだホックにございまする。
Oh.
埋葬されたものか。
さようにござりまする。されば我らで脇句をつけてやりませぬと。
Beautiful. Yes.
I'm staring at the camera.
我ら大坂に行くべきではなかったな。貴殿の腕があるではないか。共に海に出ればよいではないか。貴殿の国目指して。貴殿の国は何て豊かの国じゃ。そう国じゃ。なんだイングランド。そこへわしを連れてあれじゃ飛び込みを指南してくれ。虎中様に指南したようにわしにも手本を見せてくれ。はよPull yourself together, man. 何を言うておる。早くアンジの
What?
Oh.
Yeah. Scuttled. Just done. It's been
Okay.
broken here for a while. You're never leaving. Unless we got the black ship, maybe.
恐れながら矢部重殿刀をお渡しいただくように申し使っております。
Damn.
Yeah. He was a rat's rat, you know?
Uh-huh.
Wow.
All right.
妙に紛れてわしらの警護をすり抜け襲撃したのでございます。敵は狙いどころをよう心得ておりました。キリシタンやは試練と思うておりまする。誠に恐ろしいことで。Enemies. Christians did this.
Huh.
Did they really?
身内や家臣を連れ帰ってくれたことを礼を申す。
マリコ殿が亡くなられたことはお聞き及びかと存じまする。
存じておる。
Yeah.
招き入れる措置の姿が見られておったこともな。
いや。
マリコ殿が死んだ折、措置とともに土蔵の中。
Oh.
Whoa.
海殿に知らせてよこしたのじゃ。
Whoa.
矢部重殿はマリコ様が亡くなった後、介護の念に駆られ許しを請うておられたとか。
Yeah.
Fuck. Yeah.
明日の日没までに腹を切ってもらおう。
Damn.
殿、どのみち殺すのであればよくしをお与えくださる。大術に好みが切り裂かれるような怒り狂った魚の群れに。
I fucking love him.
良き案じゃが、わしは措置を信じて
I like that idea, but
明日
no.
の日没までに腹を召されよ。
Not even the boiling pot?
釈は誰がよい。
Yanjin.
安心なのか。
Yes. Yes.
なら
Oh no.
殿にお願いできますれば、今日へ地獄に存じまする。
承知した。
Yeah.
All right.
Hey.
Hey, Fuji.
Fuji, yeah. Been a while.
そなたすっかり息災。
かたじけのうございまする、安心様。
You look like shit.
Yeah.
私どもが大坂城を出立する朝、落ち葉の方から内密にお預かりをした文でございます。
読んだのか。
ひどい勘繰りでございますこと。
Whoa. Oh my god. Did she just give him everything he needed?
I don't
The
know.
music change, like.
花乱れ。ことのはちりて。
Ah, no, it's the poem. This is the finished poem.
Yeah.
あまりに美しゅうて、殿がお読みになられたとは思いませぬ。
Okay. No, that was a kindness. Yeah.
言葉のみか。じゃが、なんと見事な焚き火を。
Bonfire of Dreams.
明日にて私はお暇をいただきます。虎長様から尼になるお許しが出ましたので。
Whoa.
Okay.
Yeah.
様は正室。
お言葉ではございますが、
No.
私はもうあなた様の正室ではございませぬ。虎長様にお仕えするお役目は
Wow. Yeah.
されど、私はこの村のことに胸を痛めておりまする。
アジロ。
Yeah. Yeah.
長様に文を。私、明日殿に会いたい。
Okay.
All right.
There's this feeling of dread, but
Oh, yeah.
this is such a slow episode. So
Yeah, this is
far.
not at all how I was expecting this episode to go.
No, me neither.
長様の御前に参るぞ。
Farewell, Fuji.
Yeah.
You were a lovely character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm glad that it seems like you'll have a peaceful, safe life.
Yeah, yeah.
たことは我らにとっても面白ないことじゃ。配下の者たちには下手人を見つけるまで休むなと命じてある。
But he's right next to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Born Tonomoto Akinao in the Azuchi Prefecture. I am samurai.
Yeah.
In order to spy on his enemies, years ago my lord ordered me to convert to the religion of the Portuguese. So I took the name Muraji and moved here.
Whoa.
But at least you're not Catholic. 私はあの俺失って
おりました。その
望み hope or in the word you are looking for faith.
This part either one will do. It was Mariko-sama. She hated my war against the Catholics.
マリコ殿は安心殿が日の本のキリシタンと戦うことを嫌がっておられたと。
So she made an arrangement in Osaka to trade my survival for the destruction of my ship.
安心殿の命を助けるために安心殿の船を焼くよう頼んだと申しております。
So you see, 処刑正しくない。これ以上血はいらない。
いかがいたすつもりじゃ。
Fuck.
I don't need it anymore.
Yep, I'm free.
私の戦、つまらぬ戦。
Whoa.
何をしておる。
Yeah.
I was the disloyal one.
Yeah.
私死ぬ。村人死なない。
何様のつもりじゃ。
I was taking the example.
己が死ねば、わしが謀反人探しをやめるとでも思っておるのか。
A brave man showed me this. Yeah.
The day I set foot on your shores, I fed you shit. I fed you shit. Dickie. Dickie. Dickie! Fuck it. I live and we die. 私安心はこの命をもって吉井虎長によるこの村への無慈悲な処罰に抗議いたす。
なのであれば、あの船を立て直し、わしのために水軍を作るがよい。
Okay.
Whoa.
All right.
Well, that's gonna take time though. Like.
ギガラは楽な埋めるなのみさらせ。飢えたる犬の腹を満たせよ。
見事な句であろう。わしの腕前もここに極まる。
Beautiful place to die, though.
Yeah.
これで終わりとは残念でございまするが、我が甥は殿の良き配下になりましょう。殿は果報者でございまするな。
そちのおかげじゃな。
安心もでございまする。あやつも拙者のおかげでございまするぞ。
Suppose I do.
できれば拙者も生き延びて見とうございましたぞ。殿の計りごとがどのようなものであれ。
Whatever it is. Yeah.
老いの初陣も、安心が船を燃やしたキリシタンどもを海で打ち負かすところも、この先見たいことがあまたありました。
Yeah.
そうやすやすとはよくまい。壊さねばならなかったのじゃ。
Yeah.
安心の命か、安心の船か。
Damn.
Yep.
Damn. Yep. I'm glad he reveals it to him here.
その小細工よ。安心を試すためのな。あやつにはいつか種明かしをするやもしれん。 その頃にはあやつは船を立て直
And many more besides.
日の本から出られぬ宿命であろうな。
Oh, your fate now?
どのような心地がするものでございましょう。
Yeah.
殿はすべての風を
Right.
ここで好転でございまするか。うまくいくかもしれませんが、拙者にはどうしたら勝てるのか。
Yeah, I'm gonna die anyways.
せめて拙者が死ぬ。
At least tell me. Yeah.
だけ共にやってまいったのじゃ。そなただけは目の前でなされている策に
I don't have a plan. I'm making shit up.
終わっておる。大老衆が結束しておる限り大坂に軍を送るなどもってのほか。それはすなわち死を意味する。そこでわしは女子を一人送り込み、軍勢にもできぬことをさせ。
What a line, but
Yeah.
そなたには見えぬか。これから何が起こるか。
oh shit.
これよりおよそ一月のち、我らは関ヶ原にて敵と対峙。
Sekigahara, yeah.
石堂側につけばわしの軍勢に勝ち目はない。じゃがマリコ殿の行いのおかげで落ち葉の方は石堂との盟約。
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Wow. Yep. She'll then become Tokyo. Yep.
そのことにございまするな。我らの一生も下々の者たちの死も生贄も皆我ら一門の名に勝利を記すだけのもの。
安心と初めて会った時、あやつが何と申したか覚えておるか。
Unless I win. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Unless I win, yeah.
身はないゆえやめて。
Right, right, right.
己が勝てば。
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
勝てば全て思いのままになる。
Oh my god.
殿のかねてよりの望みであったのでございまするな。胸の奥に秘めたお心は殿も他の者とさほど変わりませんな。本当のことを語ってくだされ。
Whoa.
死人に先々の話をして何とする。
Oh. Oh. Wow, just
right away.
Right away.
Holy shit. He falls into
Yep,
the sea.
Into the sea. Where he should have died a long time ago, but
Yep,
you know what?
yep.
Perfect.
Fuji-sama, you've served me all this time. Please just allow me this one final gesture. Look.
Oh.
行く。海へ。最後の頼み。
She's like, well, I don't really trust you.
Committed to the deep. There's a soul who, in some way, lives on forever. Within it. わかりましたか?
No.
ずっと一生。はい。
I'll bury them the way I want, though. Thank you.
I mean, they've already been, you know,
Yeah.
turned to ash and everything. It's the giving her the, you know, closure. She's going to go to the convent and everything. So.
ずっと一緒。
Oh. No, not letting that go, are you?
She closes the hand.
最後に触れるのは
Oh.
ハンジン様の手にいたしましょう。
Oh. Fuji, you're so sweet.
Okay.
Oh.
We're pissing in the wind. We need more water. I told them they can rest.
Ah, Bundaro's here to help.
Came to see you another time on this beach.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yes. Yes, this is wonderful. Raise the ropes! Right, you miserable, sniveling, festering shitrags! I have a feeling this is the one. Here we go. No, Murati. Just keep that between you and I. Okay.
You're making progress.
I told you she was beautiful. I told you she knew what the business. That's enough. That's enough.
Yeah, this conversation. The opening playing now.
Yeah.
Shogun. You see it, yep.
Alright.
Wow. Incredible.
Fantastic.
He did do Crimson Sky. The episode wasn't a bamboozle.
Okay.
We are done with the story.
Yeah. What a way to end it.
What a way to end it. Toranaga has shown himself, but it was to Yabushige.
Yeah.
Only someone that was going to die.
Right.
And
even then, what good is there telling the future to a dead man?
Yeah. I love that we get to, in some ways, peek behind the curtain by being the viewer and see this conversation that, might never have happened. Because this is a historical, embellished fiction, what have you.
Right.
But the idea that a conversation that, wouldn't have been written in the history books or what have you. This is something that could have only come about from a kind of like a book-telling perspective side of things. But, wow.
Yeah.
No great grand battle.
Nope.
Crimson Sky was Mariko doing what an army could never do.
And this almost seems like they're setting it up as there doesn't necessarily have to be a second season.
No, not really.
We know how it goes. He won. Like...
Right, if you did it, it would be about the building of this nation without wars.
Right, but it wouldn't be an intrigue thing anymore. And I gotta say, I really respect the story for doing that because it's so easy to turn an intrigue story into one of military might or something like that. Because, like, when I think about, like, factions, like, being in conflict with one another, the intrigue oftentimes is the preamble, and then from there everything goes, like blows up, and then it's war, right? But in this case, no, it kind of starts and ends with intrigue, right? And so
with a few written words.
Yep. And the war that would have been started, nope, it's ended as soon as it begins.
Yeah, words and time. That's the weapons of Toranaga.
Right.
He took his knowledge and his studying of the wind, if you will, and put words into the wind. And put enough time and spacing between these words in order to ride it the way he could and the way he did.
Yeah.
I'm just impressed that in some ways his plan was so subtle and so it was almost obvious at the very end, and yet it still had like a couple pieces that weren't completely obvious there.
Like there's the implication that Blackthorn even knows kind of what's up. Like he doesn't know all the details, of course, but it's the when he went to go talk to you, he could have decided to just call you out on your bullshit. But he's like, no, I do actually care about the people of this village, so that's what I'm negotiating for, which ends up playing into his hands, basically. Right. Because it's oh, cool, you're going to negotiate on behalf of those people? All right, and now as the benevolent ruler that I am, very well, I will spare them from the thing that they didn't even, do to begin with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. It's just the level of cold calculation to be able to do all this, to then set up a world where he will have supreme power potentially, and then have this fleet that he'll then build.
Oh yeah.
And it's just so fun because I'm now so inspired to devour everything historically surrounding this guy.
Oh sure,
because I know his actual name. Like I've known his actual name like the whole time, but like the idea that like I've had the wrong impression of him in my head then. I thought he was a very different kind of person. I knew he was cunning in historical accounts, Tokugawa Ieyasu, or Ieyasu, how do you pronounce that? But that he was this cunning. Like I had no idea.
And I'm sure with the historical accounts and stuff, there are those elements where it's like, okay, this is, like anytime.
Well, there's things that you couldn't know.
Right. Yeah. Anytime you go into like internal perspective of a historical figure, you absolutely have to read between the lines.
Or you have to take second and third hand accounts, basically.
Right.
Like you're just not going to get anything better.
And even then, probably read between the lines.
Oh no, I'm totally agreeing with you. I'm just saying that second and third hand accounts exist. It's just that's the best you can get usually. Right. For dramatic fiction, reading between the lines is the next step off of that,
right?
Because those second and third hand accounts do exist. Like we have only 500 years really of time ahead on this. Basically.
But I gotta say, this is also something where, from a narrative standpoint, having so many characters die, and specifically not like so many characters, but as far as like
main cast,
where our emotional attachment was, right?
Mariko.
A lot of our emotional attachment to this show was killed, right? Or exited stage left, maybe in the case of Fuji, who awesome, she gets to be a nun.
Let's
great.
go.
That's awesome, love it.
Fuji stands.
Yeah,
celebrate.
She's alive.
We won.
Right? Yeah, but. It would be very difficult to have the story continue past this point and have it still be something that, like, we'd be as invested in, like, to this, to that same degree, because, goddamn, just Mariko being dead alone, that
was a lot.
That's a lot. Like, you
always showed in a lot of ways how Blackthorn's gonna die.
Right.
He dies back in England.
Yep.
With
a different crucifix.
Well, yeah. But still holding on to it.
Yeah, exactly.
Surrounded by kids. So he's, at the very least, built a family.
Yeah.
I would assume that he did actually leave Japan, and that's kind of the idea there.
Yeah.
It might not have been, but the structure of the room and everything would say.
Also, just the fact that they were saying, like, is it true that you were given these by a barbarian? Right? Like
by a savage,
Yeah, by a savage, yeah.
Yeah, it's possible. I just have to just applaud the character of Toranaga because I saw the plan, at least partly, in the previous episode, but I didn't realize how deeply it was a thing for Ochiba because of the connection that her and Mariko had.
Right.
Like, I could sense that was Mariko's intent. I thought that was Mariko trying to do something in almost a way of it being against the orders of Toranaga, like a way of personally trying to reach out to him through the poetry. But no, that was all a part of his design for it, and he knew that she could reach her with that, and that was the primary focus of the plan. The dissension among the regent side of things is the like, yeah, that I can't control to what extent that's going to come about, but yeah, but you doing this absolutely would cause that. Right. But the actual gamble was the, oh, I need you to win her over to my side.
Right, and that's hence the, like the one person, well, in a similar way that, like, you know, once Yabushige is about to die, he's like, okay, I'll start telling you, you know, a decent bit, right?
Right.
That's also what made him probably able to trust Mariko, because he knows that she wants to die.
Yeah.
So, you know, if there was to be someone that he had to trust with a bit more information, a bit more of the, you know, grander plan. Hey, I need you to know a bit of what I want to happen so that that way you can properly carry it out when things maybe don't go exactly according to plan, you know. Like, okay, cool. And now she did it. She did it. It
worked flawlessly.
Yeah, fantastically.
And also in a fun kind of meta way, Toranaga's foresight is not supernatural.
No.
He's predicting this based on what makes sense. He's predicted so much up until this point. He's like, no, can't you see it, Yabushige?
Yeah. If anything, he's just got good nerves, right? To be able to stick to something like this.
To commit to it even though it's not certain.
Right.
It is likely, but it is not certain.
And when it's almost entirely within his own head, right? Because, you know, coming up with a plan, that's one thing.
Right.
Being confident enough in the plan to act on it, okay. But doing that without, like, having the advisors be like...
council.
Yeah, and be like, hey, so this is what I'm cooking.
The council
of
peers,
do you see any weaknesses here? Do you see any, you know,
Right.
Like, that's where it gets really crazy.
Right.
Because, like, and especially with something this long-reaching, right? Like, the whole situation with the previous Taiko and all that stuff, where it's like, oh, yes, I'll have set myself up to be that, hey, I'll be the trustworthy one, you know? And yes, he's going to do what was asked of him. And it just so happens to line up with his ambitions. You know?
Right. I just couldn't believe it. Like he maneuvered things with the power of everybody else's sacrifices, but primarily in this moment, the relationship of two women who were basically watching these men in power have their way with the environment that they were in with no consequences. And now this is their way of saying,
one woman did something that an army couldn't.
Well, right, but the two of them also specifically.
Yes.
Like she made this happen. And I might be reading into this a little bit too much. But the idea that the regions will turn on him before a sword is drawn, meaning that like we won't have armies clashing with each other in the field. But that's also somewhat optimistic.
Well, I think we won't have armies clashing in a field is that it'll be all the other armies and just him, you know, right? And then Ishido will just get, you know.
Oh, no, totally. But the idea that Ishido's death wouldn't necessarily cause some potential really terrifying
crazy
tragedy
destabilization
of just a bunch of people with different motivations as to then how they want things to go.
Right.
And the only group that's united is Toranaga's group.
Yeah.
You know, one death could lead to another, which could lead to a full-on battle of the four armies over there just attacking each other. Like,
which is why it was so important that Toranaga fully commit to, hey, I know that there's a whole lot of charades going on.
Right.
But I am doing this out of a sense of duty and loyalty to the kingdom and all that, right? Or the land. You know. So when it's I've stuck to my guns, you know, effectively the entire time, certainly in the way of anything that you guys see.
Right.
And then the ruler decides, yeah, fuck this other guy, you know. Yeah, people will go along with that, you know.
Yeah, I think you're right. I just
because so much of it was the fear, right?
No, so much of it was the fear.
Like we're going to cannibalize each other, and so we need to be on top.
Right. So I find it to be so impressively terrifying that this man is able to seek peace and sees the many ways this could turn into all-out bloodshed.
Yep.
And is like, no, that's not going to happen. I'm just the commitment to basically this method is impressive, and you could almost call it like stupidly rash. Like
absolutely. Well, because it's the whole unless you win.
Unless I win, right?
Yeah.
It's then I can make a miracle happen. Then I can do anything.
You know, it's the difference between boldness and brashness is just the outcome.
Oh,
right?
Oh, sure.
You know?
I think there's some differences other people might argue, but I get where you're coming from here. That in a lot of ways, that was the moment for Toranaga when he saw that little bit of feisty underdog, like yeah, you're right. There's
okay,
not much
you get it.
You get it, but I'm
right.
I'm seeking to win.
Yeah.
So you might be able to be. I almost wonder if in that moment that was when he's like, I want to get to know this person. I want to become close with them, and maybe I might find someone that I can let into my heart of hearts, into my
or at the very least
fence a little bit,
or at the very least, this person will edify me.
True.
You know,
but do you think that he's lonely? The idea that he has trained himself so much with all this over the course of his life that this is something where he's just okay with it and he's fine.
I think it's
when Yabushige asks him in those moments to share things, it's cool, I actually need this, and I will release that little bit because it is a burden and a pain to not be able to have someone to share with about these things, and thus he sought Blackthorn a little bit because of the hope of that being a far-flung future thing as well.
So I don't think it's a true need, but
sure.
I think okay. I'm going to use the analogy of the eightfold fence, even though I don't necessarily know what an eightfold fence looks like. But
sure.
I see it as being something where, as a result of, realizing that he can't truly let anyone in, right? Then what he ends up doing is basically choosing which fold to feed from different people, right? And so, in the same way that Mariko, she still wanted to die, and she was still going to do that. That didn't change anything. But having Blackthorn along the way, that definitely helped, right?
Sure.
And so, he needs to laugh every once in a while. This is grim, serious work that he's about. So he'll have Blackthorn around.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, they'll form that special friendship, even though it's not anywhere near getting beneath the surface.
It's not even as close to where he's at with him and Mariko.
Right. But it's still a very important part of that surface that needs to be treated,
Sure. I think actually comparing it to Mariko is probably the best way to get at it here, is that Mariko and him had their poetry spars. They had their moments of showcasing the creativeness of their inner hearts to each other.
Sure.
And yet, I almost got the vibe a lot that he couldn't truly show even his creativity in those moments, not just because Mariko's goated with all this stuff, but it's because if he was to do that, he would then show too much to Mariko.
Right, of the kind of person that he is.
Right, and so he concedes to her in that moment a couple episodes ago, I think it was.
It's to venture further would be risking something that is not worth it. Yeah.
Right, exactly. And not to say he's so good or what have you, but it's about the vulnerability and about keeping things close to the chest. Because Mariko, I don't think, had perfect faith in him 100% of the time. I think she had the most faith in him, other than Hiramatsu, maybe.
Sure, and I would say other than Hiramatsu, I would say Hiramatsu has the most.
Yeah.
Because Mariko, in her situation, it's
a personal thing.
Well, it's a personal thing. It's less actually about her faith in Toranaga
and her duty, but
but more about her own personal desires and how that makes it so that the trust is. This is just going to be the first part of my point.
Go for it. Yeah.
That her trust is cheap.
Okay.
And that does not mean that then there's no value to when she gives it.
Sure.
But she is able to give more than most. Like it's something that is a cost that she can pay without it being too great of a toll. you know? And so as a result of that, she's able to fully dedicate herself to Toranaga because she's wanting her life to end anyway, right?
Right.
It's the desires of this world that make it so that then people aren't able to actually, you know, like, that brings the fear and all of that stuff, right?
It's the desire, in spite of all that, to then go, but if you can give me purpose and an ability to fight with what I have,
right,
I will put every single thing on the line there.
And that's where I think the religion side of things comes into play, and why it was maybe important for Mariko is because a lot of the tenets of that is self-sacrifice, right? And because she doesn't have many tethers to, you know, this life, right? That's something that then would speak to her a lot.
She would be drawn literally to this.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, exactly.
And so then when it's the, hey, I'll help you give your life meaning, and I'll also give you what you want. And if, you know, like, you might be doing some good along the way, okay, great.
Wonderful.
Fantastic.
That's more than I could ask for.
And I believe enough in your competency and the fact that you can use me that you have no reason to deceive me. Cool.
Right.
Okay. I'm in.
The other kind of parallel with this that's kind of fun is the idea that if Toranaga's thing is he uses people to the utmost, well, he recognizes that in Blackthorn, and he's just like, oh, you're trying to do the thing here. And even in the way that Mariko translated way back when, imperfectly, but in some ways getting at the true intentions of Blackthorn by being like, you know, I wish to help you vanquish your enemies or what have you. And it's like he wishes to enlist you against his enemies, meaning that Toranaga's like, gotcha, cool. Yeah, he's like me. Okay.
Right. He doesn't know to keep that guarded.
Yeah, he doesn't know how to keep it guarded. Exactly.
Right, and that's why everybody looks at Blackthorn and is like, what the fuck? You know?
Right. He's a great distraction then.
Yeah.
And in a lot of ways, I really wish we could go back to the points where they just swam by the boat. Because,
absolutely.
Because
well, and that's where I feel like. Or sorry.
I was just feeling like at that moment, Toranaga realizes I did it. I got out. I'm free. I have the ability to win. The miracle is possible.
Yeah.
And I can be free to go and swim. And then this episode basically starts with him freely swimming in the water.
Right.
For that little bit there.
Yep.
Just being like, I did it.
Yeah.
She's passed, and now I will spend this time in silence to honor her memory and her sacrifice and her life and her death. So, yeah, I think this was the coming of full, I don't know, not age, but the coming full circle for Blackthorn to then see Toranaga just enough to go, okay.
All right. Yeah. And also, I'll follow him, you know?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's, the show does something really wonderful where it's ending at the perfect time to end, where it kind of like sets us down easy, you know? Like there's this idea a lot more so in like books than say movies. Where you need the falling action, right? Where you have the big climax of the story, but that's not actually where it ends. It's not climax and then suddenly it's over.
The ring is not destroyed and then suddenly the book ends.
Yeah, exactly. You know, you about to know one, my friends. You know, you have to have all of that, right? Like, and so that's kind of what we get because this is something that is done peacefully, where effectively Mariko's death is the end, right? Like, because we've properly set up of what exactly that would mean. It happens.
Right.
There we go. And then everything else, it's just, yep. And then we can see the little ways in which the pieces did fall into place the way they needed to.
Yeah,
and that's the end of the story.
This show will hold up really nicely on rewatch.
Also, the whole thing...
really nicely.
The thing that Toranaga said about Blackthorn is also a wonderful little, like, bit of meta commentary to the audience as well. Because if you think about Blackthorn's position in the story, right, as a perspective character, what he does is he's a window to then this world that maybe we don't understand, right?
But we get distracted looking too much at him.
Exactly.
Forgetting that this is a show called Shogun.
Right. He shouldn't actually be that important.
No.
What? Because the white man suddenly comes in from, you know, like, and it... Cool. Yeah, he might know about cannons and how to sail. That's that's not going to be the most, ground-shaking thing or whatever that's going on in this world.
Even earlier on, they made a point to show that while that's the thing that you'd think he's going to be used for, he's actually a gigantic sham with regards to all that stuff.
Oh, yeah.
He was just good at navigating around other boats.
Right.
He wasn't even, like, that good as far as, like, a cannoneer, expert or what have you.
Right, like he knows his stuff.
He knows his basic stuff,
but he's no genius within his field necessarily. And even if he knows things about navigation or orienting cannons to shoot at long range targets, that's like he was the MacGuffin of this show.
Right, he was.
And at the end of the day, that's it.
That's it.
It's just a
colorful bird.
A bauble, and it's like, yep, it helps drive the story for sure.
Right.
But if you think about within an intrigue story, what that means to truly drive the story is it's driving the characters. It's controlling the motivations of the people involved, which
means,
might be something that someone in that world would recognize and utilize.
Right. Like Toranaga.
Yeah. Oh, hey.
So in some ways, the idea that Toranaga so early on became so fascinated with Blackthorn was the great bait for us, the audience.
He's like, you're a shiny piece of bait. I'll dangle you.
I am going to shake you around.
Oh, yeah, it's going to be great. Hence why he's also okay with him dying. Like when he gives him to the church, so that he can escape. Granted, of course he would in that situation. Of course anyone would, even if you thought that Blackthorn was like super important.
Yeah.
But then when he survives, it's like, all right, cool. Yeah, welcome
funny.
back.
Get in here. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll keep dangling you around. This'll be great.
This is fun.
Yeah.
Wow. It's just inspiring me a lot with regards to the way that characters who keep portions of themselves sequestered away. This kind of I don't know if it's even really a trope, but it's more just a character writing technique to have someone basically be two-faced, have them have something that they present and then have their true intentions hidden within. That is primarily used for villains.
Sure.
Primarily. It's not usually used for, at least in most Western media, it's not really used for protagonists. It's used usually in some ways to bring character depth to the pain and the struggle of the protagonist, in that they are maybe
the classic tragic backstory.
The tragic past or what have you, the hurt, the pain, the suffering, the wound, the what have you. But that's used more to deepen the character and resolve their inner conflict so that they can then take their resolution of that and win in the exterior conflict.
It's done for emotional purposes, not for mechanical purposes. And if you do it for the protagonist with mechanical purposes, not only can that be something that can be very difficult to be believable and not just seem like, chicanery, right? Where you're just saying, this person, when you're in their head, they don't think about that plan that they've got cooking this whole time. That'd be weird.
It's like you're intentionally obfuscating things from the audience, which in some ways this story, by the nature of having Blackthorn be the protagonist, completely solves that whole problem by making his thoughts and his stuff the things that keeps us distracted, focusing on this
and not just
world that he doesn't even entirely understand.
And not just from the standpoint of being distracting. I want to bring up the idea of it being entertaining.
Oh, sure.
Because Toranaga brings that up, right? He makes me laugh, right?
Yeah.
That's what he does for us too.
Right.
Because you could tell a story about Toranaga or a character like Toranaga, right?
Yeah.
And they have a brilliant plan, and it all works perfectly. The end.
Yeah.
That's not much of a story.
No.
like that's not interesting. It's like, okay, cool, but where's the bumps and scrapes along the way? And that's what Blackthorn is, right? If you actually removed Blackthorn from this story, if you removed, the emotional connection to Mariko, this story would be very boring because the dude won too well.
In some ways, it's it would be a history book.
Yeah, right. And that would be the only that would be the main reason where it would have. It's
almost like in some ways,
is this actually happened to an extent?
Right. It's actually kind of the thing that makes this kind of funny is that it's we are adapting from history, so you kind of need this to cover up for the fact that we don't know 100% what these great people from history were thinking in their heads 100% of the time.
This story could have theoretically come from somebody, like maybe the author of the book heard about this dude in history, and he's like, damn, That's badass. I want to make that into a story. Nobody would be interested if I just say, this dude did the bloodless takeover, right? Or mostly bloodless takeover.
I mean, they could do a perspective shift again and have Mariko be the main character.
Sure, yeah, you could do something like that, but then it's like, okay, cool. Let's take this real thing that happened and present
and I believe
it.
Blackthorn is also a real character.
Oh, I fully believe that.
But yes, let's have him be the focus of
right.
the story.
Let's tell this in such a way so that we can actually give people the experience,
right.
so that they of being hoodwinked by Toranaga and all that stuff,
right.
so that way they can be like, wow, yeah, that really was impressive, as opposed to just reading a history book. Cool, I guess this dude was good at what he did.
Yeah.
And moving on, right?
Right. Then you'd have to cover way more time in order to make it interesting to see the struggles of him growing up and being a boy and becoming a man. And
yeah, exactly. And that maybe doesn't work as well.
Or maybe that does work as a grander epic, with an OCH, but not actually for a dramatic story filled with dialogue and, moment by moment intrigue,
Yeah. Yep.
It would be more of a grand saga retelling with
again,
third-person omniscient perspective.
How do you just not make that feel just like another history book, right?
Well, no, people do that really well. It's just hard to do pacing-wise and a whole bunch of other things. I'll tell you, there's some old-school movies out there that do that kind of thing with very pivotal moments in history.
Okay.
And the sweeping third-person omniscient perspective, very...
And not as an actual documentary or
no,
that, like actual fiction,
like a full on 3.5 hour movie. Like there's some great ones out there. No, I know, but the thing is, you have to do a lot in order to make it work.
Yeah,
I'll show some of them to you.
Cool.
After this, but
yeah, this was fantastic.
Yeah, this is fantastic, and I don't want them to do another season.
Me neither.
I really don't.
This is great. And hey, if you liked this, it's based off of a book.
Yeah.
Check out the book. I definitely want to.
I'm definitely going to read the book now.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew of the book's existence and stuff. It was just something that
got
was so,
a hell of a reputation.
Yeah, it's just so intimidating as far as a
which
thing to
also,
go after
so this was something where I'm glad that I didn't, there was some confusion of wait, was this one book or several? I had heard about this book from my grandpa. He loved this book, right?
Yeah.
And he was like, oh, it's just got all this, super immersive, world building and wonderful, rich characters and all that stuff. And then it ends very quickly. and it's I totally get that.
I can see, yeah.
And I'm glad that I had an unintentional misdirect off of that because, well, yeah. It ended real dang quick.
Really dang quick, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, lots of little fun character moments. The idea that Toranaga put himself in the way by grabbing his blade, and it being primarily because he wants him to make the ships.
Right.
I'm really glad that in those moments I'm left wondering entirely whether it was just because of the ships or if it was I still have hope that we could be great friends at some point in the future.
I think it is.
I don't know.
I mean, far be it from me to say, that, artistic interpretation is, whatever. For me, I don't know.
Do you think he was ever really
he didn't do that with Hiromatsu or
he
anybody else,
with
right?
Hiromatsu.
Right, because that's where they were serving their purpose.
Right, this death is actually pointless in his mind.
Well, or maybe put another way, this is where Blackthorn has actually learned the lessons of their culture.
Sure.
And now he's using it in a way that Toranaga doesn't actually like.
Right, he couldn't control it.
He couldn't control it. He's like, no, fuck. Why? We were similar in this way. Why did you have to go and learn?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
No.
Right, so it's not really a personal, emotional thing.
But it's the.
You dare use my own spells against me?
right. Yeah, it's okay. No. You die when I say you can die.
Yeah.
And that's gonna be after you build me a bunch of ships.
Right.
Yeah. But
hey, you know what, Yabashige?
Yeah, I'm so glad he got one of the final scenes, one of the big scenes. That, yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Again, though, I got bamboozled. I
Yeah.
thought we were going to the Mason Macau. I thought we were going to
I know.
a whole
I
bunch
thought
of
we were going to
guns.
have like a whole thing of them just, all right, we're
armed with cannon and guns.
And we know how to shoot at long range
They're
way
coming,
better than you
they're,
can.
They're
you
coming
know?
for us, and then it's like, hey.
Bam, you know.
Yeah. You see all those guys over there? We cannot miss.
Yeah.
Just unleash hell.
Right.
That would have been a nightmare ending. Just the idea of just blood and exploding bodies everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
And just the idea of Toranaga's reign basically coming as he just decimates every other army in Japan. Like
yeah.
It would feel like something out of a Napoleon epic, where it's there are the Prussians, there's the 200, 300, 400,000, whatever it was, to our, third of that size or what have you. Let's just use tactics and absolutely just butcher, just absolutely butcher until they're done.
Until they break. Yeah.
Jeez. But instead,
that doesn't have enough class.
No. Instead, we get something way classier, way cleaner, and something that paints a very dark image over Toranaga of what he's willing to do.
Yes.
To win, and that's a compelling character. That's a real compelling character.
And something that, maybe, if you do that as a proper protagonist, that's a full villain protagonist. Right
yes.
There. Like that's a it can still be a hell of a lot of fun to watch.
Just because Yabushige basically asked him wait, you're not better than any of us.
Yeah.
You want to be Shogun.
Right.
And he kind of realizes, tell me, please, just why tell the future to a dead man.
Yep.
And what's so funny about that, in a lot of ways, is, me being Shogun is in the future?
Right.
He kind of told him.
Yeah. Also, another thing that I thought was such a great style end for Toranaga. When Yabushige gets brought up, right, and it's this is where you're going to die, right? Toranaga's sitting there in the chair at a cliffside.
Right.
Yabushige is not being closely escorted once he's brought there.
No.
Right? Yabushige could absolutely, if he wanted to, have just been and I'm going to rush and just tackle us both off the edge, right? He wouldn't do that.
No.
But no. And Toranaga is so confident in that he's just sitting there with his back turned at a place where he could absolutely die, but he knows he's not going to.
Mm-hmm. No, I think it was a gift to Yabushige to be hey, let's go to a really beautiful place for you to die.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that you, at the very least, are probably even fascinated a little bit by the moment of your death.
Oh, sure.
And so,
with him bringing up the thing of let it be, I forget what the
all
example.
The different things, yeah.
He didn't bring up the boiling pot, though, I will say.
No. He said he gave a really good death poem, though.
Yeah.
Don't bury my body, don't burn it.
Yeah.
Let it fill the belly of a dog in the field, or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's just
that's badass.
That's hard.
Right.
That is hard.
That's hard-boiled.
That's a hard-boiled motherfucker.
Well,
right
okay,
there,
not hard-boiled because he wasn't actually boiled. That would have been truly hard-boiled.
Right.
You get it.
But,
yeah.
All right, that's the end of the series.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, please don't make any more seasons. This was perfect.
Right, we don't need it.
Anymore.
We don't need it. This is great.
Don't Hollywood it up or anything.
Yeah,
there.
you think we're gonna get attached to characters more than we were to Mariko, Hiramatsu, Fuji,
well, the amount of people
Yabushige.
that had to be involved in this is definitely the kind of thing where there's probably a lot of artistic integrity from at least a good chunk of those people to be no, we wouldn't be involved in another one because we did our part. We put the light on this incredible book.
Moment of history and
moment
book
of
and
history. So
yeah. Yep.
Success. Move on to another thing.
Oh man.
Hiroyuki Sanada. I tip my hat proverbially off to you.
Mm-hmm.
You are the star of this show, among stars, with obviously the actress for Mariko being
incredible
up there,
yeah.
And then of course also our Blackthorn actor as well.
Oh yeah.
He had some really hard scenes where he needed to really pull off subtle acting, and he did a damn good job. So.
On top of also just being a very fun,
very entertaining,
bad-mouthed sailor, to listen to. But
also the fun reveal that the guy who's been basically doing all the stuff for Toranaga in the town of Izu, was his spy that he had infiltrate the Portuguese specifically to learn English so that he can learn everything he can from both sides, then being revealed as the like ultimate translator, where it's the
yeah, he has to actually ask Toranaga, that might be a bit too complicated for my cover as just a fisherman, you know.
Like, does he not know? And it's
and he's like, okay, tell him. He's like, okay, so hi.
Yeah. Hello.
Yeah.
I've been in cover for 20 years, you know? And it's like, what?
Yeah.
Just the way Blackthorn was just like, because there's things that implies in some ways. One, I think one of the obvious things that it implies is that he didn't entirely trust Mariko's translations. There were moments where he's like, Mariko will do this stuff, but he'll be there and be like that other person and stuff for being in the Portuguese and all that stuff.
Well, and especially in those situations when like there was clearly some, you know, tension between
some fuckery going around there.
Right, exactly. And it's like hang on, this plan is way too precise for
Yeah. I almost even wonder the other thing that I thought was going to be coming about is that Toranaga could have been secretly learning English for the last like decade or so.
Oh.
And it's the idea that he would never share this with anybody.
I
don't think he was.
No, I don't think so, because I think that's one of those things that from a practical standpoint, learning a new language is hard enough. Learning a new language while controlled secretly and not like it'd be very difficult to get that time to practice to keep it sharp.
No, this guy was just a good spy.
Yep.
These are all really dumb speculation.
Right. And it's more just it just adds to the whole thing for Blackthorn when he finds that out of, all those heads on spikes, those are just acceptable losses.
Right.
Yeah.
But y'all, thank you so much for watching this episode's reaction and discussion. If you want to see the first episode's reaction of what's getting chosen next, go check out the link in the doobly-doos over here. Any level support there gets you access to our Discord, where you can chat with us in the community there about this show, about other shows in general, and also be sure to check out our Twitch channel. So yeah, if any of that interests you, we'll see you there. But until then, we're Semblance of Sanity. I'm Caleb.
I'm Jacob.
And we'll see you all
next time.